There's a lot of discussion at the moment about how, as musicians, we are being ripped off by the streaming platforms like Spotify. We simply don't get paid fairly for our music. I take a bit of a step back on that and wonder if most musicians ever fairly got paid for their music and whether it was really ever valued as a profession that's worthy of being paid a lot of money. So let's just wind back to London in the 1850s, and this would apply for any city in any Western country. In fact, probably any country really, but let's stick with the Western countries. So let's say you were a member of a string quartet or a small ensemble, and you were a highly trained musician. The only way you were likely to earn money was playing middle and upper class soirees, dinner parties and gatherings. You'd be invited as a small group of people to play there live because there was no recorded music. You wouldn't be paid a great deal, and you certainly wouldn't be waltzing through the front door as a celebrity and being welcomed as a famous musician. You would be treated on the same level as the servants. So you would come through the servants' quarters, you would perform, and you may, if you were lucky, have a meal in the servants' quarters at the end, and you would leave through the back door and go back to your rental accommodation where you probably eked out a relatively meager existence and probably had to work a day job to make a living. So this idea that musicians really are worthy of every cent they can find, I don't know if it's really true. There's always been millions of musicians. Again, in England, all throughout history, you would find incredibly talented musicians playing in local pubs, playing the organ in churches, later on the pianists that would play along to the silent movies, let alone the street performers, and all the musicians that made up all of the orchestras that played for the live performances of ballet and symphonic orchestras for big performances. Musicians have never really earned a huge amount of money from being talented, and even composers haven't always made a great deal of money. So perhaps from the 1940s onwards, and I'm guessing around that time, we can start to think of people that become household names, famous. This idea of fame and celebrity gets attached to music. And then we move into the Elvis Presleys, then onto the Beatles, and then we have this sort of peak heyday in the 70s and 80s of super wealthy musicians making a fortune and owning multiple Rolls Royces and houses all over the world. I don't know anymore. Yes, we've got a few of those today, but I don't know. A huge investment in a studio like this, let alone the massive studios that cost an absolute fortune to go to, and record labels and record companies and the whole industry that's built around it. I'm just wondering whether it has peaked and passed, and we're moving into a different space now, where we're going back to what musicians really are, which is we're just wandering minstrels. We're just entertainers. We are people that have decided for some reason to learn a particular instrument, have a particular skill, get good at it, and just entertain people. Can we expect to get paid a lot of money? No. Can we expect to get paid fairly? Okay, fairly, but what is fairly? Is fairly enough to make a living doing it? Then in most cases, I'd say no. It simply isn't. We are just wandering minstrels.